finished my first diamond painting. I am so excited. This came out so beautiful. Let's start going over it in just a second. Let me introduce myself. My name is Marissa. I make a variety of diamond painting content. My favorite things to make are whip and chats, which is work in progress. It goes from weekly life updates to opinions and story times. Let's talk about how much I love this one because it's all done. Okay, are you ready? I started this on March 20th and I finished it on April 25th. Let's look at it now. I feel so good. Like, I completed this a lot faster than I thought I could. I thought that this would take me months, and it's taken me just over a month, and I spent so many hours on this, and it's just stunning. Now let's talk about the artist a little bit. His name is JoJoesArt, and I actually am starting another project by him. I didn't know he was the same artist for my next canvas, but once I realized it, I think he's gonna turn into a one-click buy. I might get all of his paintings one day, or I might not, I haven't decided, but I've completely fallen in love with his work, is what I'm trying to get at. Let's go over some of the negatives, and there's not many. Let's talk about this little corner over here. The glue seemed to lose or not have any stick to it, really. I had to like pray for the best. When I was sticking them, I would literally go to place it and it would just kind of sit there. See, I already lost one little diamond right there. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. But I'll do my little zoomy thing. But yeah, I already lost a diamond right there. So I'm not gonna get a whole new canvas because I lost one little diamond. I might try to go in and re-stick it. I don't know if you have any suggestions for how to get something to stick again without having to peel them all off, pour some new glue, or whatever. So that kind of was disappointing, but it's not going to take away from the experience that I've had this one, because a project that shall not be named and doesn't count was so much worse. My fault on top of the quality's fault. So it doesn't count. So for this to go so smoothly and so fast was just astonishing to me. And I cannot help but explain. And I lost another diamond here too, but I think that was my placement. But loving this so much. Now, since I am inexperienced, I did end up putting some of them way too close together, which caused them to scrunch up and kind of pop. Towards the end, like up here, it happened a lot more. Like I could still feel some trying to pop up, because I was, whenever I would try to multi-place, or if I was even single placing, I was touching the diamonds and then setting it down. So instead of having them kind of separated and down to where they have their own area, I was like touching it and then sliding it into place because I was too scared of running out of room or something. I don't know what exactly I was thinking. But I learned that that's not what you want to do. You do want them separated and not necessarily touching right away. So it took me a minute to figure that out. And I was also watching a lot of diamond content and kind of figured out that that is wrong. It also caused a lot of gapping. So that was on me. So I will be expecting some more diamonds to kind of pop out of place, because my placement of them wasn't very good until later on. And then, I don't know. I have so many good memories putting this together too. This will be hung up on my wall. I've mentioned that a few times in previous videos, but I want to hang this under my husband's skulls from what he's hunted prior, and I'm super excited. Overall, this is gonna be short and sweet. I give it a 10 out of 10. Like, I just want to pet it. I am so in love with this picture. I almost wish I would have waited, because this one means a lot to me, to do it, so it would have had better placement and whatnot. I'm going to pause here. I'm gonna play some music and put a little bit of B-roll on it, just so you can see it. I even stood on my desk for you to take some aerial views, and I just kind of want to let that play out. Welcome back. So I want to talk about my AB issue, because yes, it's an issue to me. It has nothing to do with the quality of the canvas or the diamonds. It was a me problem. I couldn't figure out how to get them to stick and stay on the canvas, and then I realized after some research, you could use dirty wax, or you could use a wet paper towel, which I will fully be testing those out for it. But I also was putting too much pressure, so some of the diamonds are not chipped, but the coating on top is kind of scraped off, so I will have a better plan of action next time. I also want to place the AB diamonds first, instead of waiting, because I did them last this time because they were sticking, and I was like, I don't want to have to deal with, you know, sticking ABs and having such a hard time placing them. So I just pushed it off and waited until last minute, and I shouldn't have done that. So now I know, because if they're, once again, a me thing, I placed them too close together, like it was all uneven, so I'm trying to shove the diamonds into their place where they're supposed to go, and like move all the diamonds around it, and then it just caused them to chip and little circles on the top of the little diamonds. So that was a me thing, and I think other than that, the ABs are my favorite. They are stunning, and they add such a beautiful effect. Like, I'm trying to get it so you guys can see it. I don't think it's really showing up on camera. Just the effect. And it's gonna look so good on my wall. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna dry mount it or actually find a frame. Obviously, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So maybe when it's all finished, I'll post some pictures of it hanging on my wall and framed up on the community post. But yeah, this gets a 10 out of 10. Thank you, Diamond Art Club, for providing such a good experience to let me love this process and whatnot, because I was going to give up diamond painting on my first one. And this, just when I think back on my experience of getting into this hobby, this is what I'm going to be thinking about. This is what I'm going to remember. Such a good experience, great quality. There wasn't very much trash. I want to get into my storage case for a second and dig in there for a minute. Cute. This one's my daughter's. Where's mine? I also had an energy drink this morning. My hands are shaking and I don't think I'll ever drink one again. I feel like I'm breathing really fast and my heart's going a million miles an hour, but this is the only time I have to record. So I'm sorry if I seem a little frantic because I kind of am. My breathing is annoying me. Okay, so this was my setup for this project. It worked really well for me. I am going to be using Elizabeth Ward style for my next project. This was a little tedious, but let me show you. I only had like this much trash. It's not a lot at all. And it was almost kind of fun picking through and finding them and getting rid of them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I'll figure something out. This one doesn't have a label. This is for any random diamonds that I would find. You know, you sometimes tap on your tray and they'll like pop and some will go everywhere, or you don't even realize you knocked a diamond over, or you drop one as you're diamond painting and you don't realize it. So this is like my random one. I don't know why I'm keeping them. I didn't just throw them away, but I want them separated from the trash so you guys can see the accurate amount of what was trash, what I lost. This little guy, I spilled a whole tray of diamonds. It was awful. So I used the sock over the vacuum method, and that turned into a massive disaster because I kept sucking the sock up into my vacuum and having to take the whole thing apart. So I gathered what I could because I was scared I was going to run out. And then I didn't even think that there is the spill warranty to where I can get new diamonds if I ran out. Like, I completely forgot that was even a thing. So I was panicking, but that was these ones. And I still have this much of this color left over, so I didn't even need to panic. I could have just cleaned them up and not picked through any. Like, this is half of what I dropped. I just let the other half go. I ended up just sweeping the rest of them up because the sock and the vacuum thing was not working. So this was my leftover. I didn't have any fear of running out of any diamonds. Like, they supplied so much. I don't like the way I organized these. I just did the DMC number, and I felt like the whole time I couldn't find anything. So for my kit up for Beautiful Colored Death, also by JoJoesArt, or Beautiful Death Colored, sorry. I'm doing it by symbol instead of by number, so hopefully I can find them better. But overall, the symbols were really clear on the canvas, and I just got LASIK surgery, so my thoughts were I better be able to see all the symbols because I just paid a lot of money to have new eyes. And thankfully, I didn't need a magnifying glass or anything. At nighttime, which is to be expected, I do use the light pad, and then also for recording so you guys can get clearer view, I use the light pad, but any other time I'm not really using it because it's so visible and I could see it, which is awesome. But yeah, I really enjoyed the color palette of this whole freaking project. I love neutrals and creams. I'm not a sad tan mom. I don't like that, sad neutral moms. Like, if you know, you know. But I do love when something is neutral like that. So when you do get these beautiful pops of color, it just stands out. But I also really love tons of color, so I have a feeling I'll be going back and forth between something that has a solid type of color palette to other ones that are just exploding with color, because it's just, I think this is gonna end up being a mood thing for me. Like, I'm a mood reader. So yeah, I have also never kitted down before. I've only, for my project that shall not be named, I just threw everything away. It was atrocious. I feel like every other diamond was lopsided, plastic melted halfway through. It was like domed on the bottom, so most of them didn't even stick. The canvas, literally I could go like this to it and it would string and stick and then like slam back down. It was gross. And then other parts, there was absolutely no glue laid down. And it took me 2 years to get through that one, and it was only a itty bitty project. And this is why I say it doesn't count, because a majority of the time I hated it so much. My kids were interested in it, so they would play with it most until finally I was like, do you know what? I need to give it another chance because I keep bringing it out and trying because I wanted to love it so much. But I saw Diamond Art Club after some YouTube research. Hello, YouTube. I showed this one to my husband, and I was also looking at my other one, and we both agreed that this would be a good first project. It has a lot of color blocking. Now, color blocking is when you have one big area of just one color. So you can multi-place, you can checkerboard, you can do little designs to get through it. But it's really good, I think, for a beginner. I was scared of confetti. My next project might have a little bit more confetti, but I know for sure my third project, I'm gonna aim for something with a lot of confetti. I have a feeling it's gonna be a very pixelated picture that's not very clear, but I just wanna give the company a try and also test out confetti. It's a really small project, but that's for a later date. Let's keep it about this one, Marissa. Oh, my first experience with squares too. I could not get the hang of it at first, and it kind of freaked me out, and that's why I thought this thing would take me months. The learning curve kind of sucked, and it was intimidating, but I also think that all the people on the internet and YouTube and wherever, whoever talks about squares, get into my head. Some people make it out that these are the hardest to learn and really, really difficult, so I went into it with that expectation, and my nervousness and my anxiety about it, I think, made it worse. So don't do that. It is literally corner to corner. Checkerboard really works well. For the edges, I suggest not just doing multi-placing right away. Maybe start your section off. I'm gonna try to find a spot that has a lot. This part right here has a lot of white, right? So I suggest going around the edges and then checkerboarding into it so they're all lined up, and then multi-placing in the middle and then finishing off the checkerboard area around it. I did that in some spots and it came out so straight. Now, I am not a picky placer. I do this more for the experience and the repetitiveness of doing it, not so much for the after project. Yes, I appreciate it. It's stunning. It's going on my wall, and I put hours and hours and hours and hours of work into it. And those hours and hours of work is what makes me love this hobby. So for my first experience, I know this is a little drawn out, but it's my first one. So my next post reviews will probably be a little bit shorter. I wanted to go over my experiences with this. I didn't have any fraying on the edges. These little dents are my fault for kind of folding it when I shouldn't have. Just like the process of learning what the canvas can handle and figuring out some storage type things, because this is big. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to watch my journey of learning. Have a good day. Bye.